Welcome back to another Under Pressure. Today we are looking at the Hatsan AT44 PA. PA stands for pump action. Now that is what makes this gun different from from the rest of the AT44 line. It's a line that's been out for a few years now, proven itself to be very reliable, a really good value, and a great performing gun. Now the pump action here is really fun to use and it's really convenient. Now it's just that easy. Pull the trigger, to load your magazine, pull this back, magazine's empty. Pop that in, release that lever, holds it there. It locks into the right place every time. I've never had a problem having to fiddle it. It just goes right in. When you extend this forward, pushes the pellet into the chamber and you're ready to go. You've got a manual safety here, which is really nice, especially on a gun like this that you can fire really quickly. You don't want to be fiddling with the safety every time. So let's go through its features here, starting at the front. Now we have Hatsan's quiet energy sound deadening technology, fully shrouded barrel, which ends in a series of baffles here. They're kind of the hair curler style with felt around them. Works really well. We have a removable cylinder here. We have the pump action. Now this lever here is the action release lever. Let me show you how it works. So if I cock the gun, I cannot cock it again. This is to prevent double feeding and so forth. So if I consciously want to bring that action back, I pull in the action release lever and then I can pull this back and pull out the magazine, for example, or do whatever I need to do. Just pay attention and remember that it doesn't decock the gun. The gun is still cocked and loaded at this point. Now this gun does have an adjustable hammer spring, so if you decide you want to go with a lighter pellet like the GTOs or the 1589s, you can tune the gun down and you'll get a longer, flatter shot string and get it in that velocity range that you really want it to be. Now the hammer spring is adjusted through this little hole back here. I hope you can see that. You adjust it, you access that with a 4mm Allen wrench, but it needs to be a fairly long one. But you can't just put it in there and turn, or that hammer just turns and turns and doesn't do anything. You need to pin or capture that hammer, and to do that, you have to take the gun out of the stock here. Now what you do is you remove this rear screw, you remove this screw, you remove these two screws, and once you've taken these two screws off, it exposes this screw right here. Then you can take the gun out of the stock, and right up here, when you look down, you'll see in the brass tube there a little hole. You might have to turn your hammer a little bit until the hole in the hammer matches up with that hole. Put in there, a 2mm Allen wrench or something to hold that, and then you can turn your hammer spring. Now, it works in reverse, so turning it clockwise will, reverse from what you might think. Turning it clockwise will lessen the power, turning it counterclockwise will increase the power. And so then you can just tune it up there, get it where you want, and put everything back together, and you're good to go. The safety is here on the back, and just pull it out to put it on safe. Push it in to fire. We have Hatsan's standard 11mm / Picatinny rail on top, so you can use any sort of mounts that you have, giving you a lot more convenience that way. The magazine seats pretty low, which means you can use low mounts, medium or high, whatever is more convenient for you and whatever gives you the best cheek weld and so forth. But it's nice that it doesn't stick up and force you into using high mounts. Now we've got a Hawk 3-12x50 Air Max scope on there. Really nice scope. It's maybe a little bit bigger and heavier than I'd usually mount on this gun. Hawk's got the new, the Air Max Compact, which I think would be a great scope on this gun. I just have it in rings at the moment. I think that's enough talk about this. Let's take it to the range. We'll do a chronograph, we'll do the sound testing, and we'll do accuracy. I've got the AT44 PA filled up to 200 bar. We're going to do a full shot string. Typically, you'd fill it to a little bit less than the maximum fill pressure to get your shot curve nice and flat, but we're going to start right at 200 bar and see where our usable shot string is and how many shots we get. So we're shooting the JSB heavies. They're an 18.13 grain lead pellets. Let's go ahead and get started. We got a total of 36 shots before it really started to drop off the regulator. If we cut it down, if we stopped around 30 shots, then we'd have an extreme spread of 67 feet per second with a high of 902 feet per second and a low of 835 feet per second. That gives us an average of 871 and an average muzzle energy of 30.55 foot-pounds of energy. Now for the accuracy testing, we're going to shoot both the JSB Heavies and the Predator GTOs. So the JSB Heavies an 18.13 grain pellet, Predator GTOs are 11.75, so kind of the two ends of the spectrum, but it seems to like both of these. I haven't tested every pellet that we carry, of course, but I did test a number of them, and these two stood out. So we'll do a 10-shot group here at 35 yards with each and see how it does. Up first are the JSB Heavies 18.13 grainers. And that's 10. Now we're loaded up with 10 Predator GTOs, 11.75 grain pellet. It's shooting them, about 1,050, between 1,030 and 1,050 feet per second. So really fast, but these pellets seem to be able to handle the speed pretty well. So we'll see how they do. And there's 10. In our enclosed range, a narrow space without any sound deadening at all, the highest reading we got was 89.2 decibels, placing this gun well within your backyard friendly range for most backyards. Now let's take a look at our target here. So this is the first one we shot. This is the JSB Heavies, 18.13 grain pellets. One of them, got away from me. One of them went a little high. I don't know if that was me. I don't think it was. That, 10 out of 10 puts the group right at 1 inch center to center. If we take that one out, were about 0.6 inches. Now the GTOs over here, 10 out of 10 went in about 0.45 inches. Now I made the rookie mistake of shooting out my point of aim, and so I was kind of guessing, which opened up the group a little bit. As I was getting it sighted in, I was getting smaller groups than this with the GTOs, something around, a 1/3 of an inch typically. So anyhow, still a nice tight group, really consistent. Again, it would have been a little bit better had I not shot out my point of aim. So we've got good accuracy here. I think this is a great gun for, for pesting, for small game hunting. In .22 caliber, it's probably a 50-yard and under gun. You can stretch it out probably, a little bit farther, but that's kind of the range. In .25, I think you could probably, go out to 50, 75 yards. Got a lot going for it. It's not regulated. And you saw with the 18 grain pellets that we had a fairly significant kind of bell curve there, kind of parabolic curve. When I was shooting the GTOs, it was a lot flatter. Their lighter pellets use less air, keep that valve open a little bit less long, and quite a bit flatter. So you'll get more shots and a flatter shot string, I think, with the lighter pellets. But you can choose, it shoots either one of them pretty well. And now let's test the trigger pull here. Now this has the Quattro Trigger, really well-known trigger that's very adjustable. I don't know if you can see it here, but you've got 3 screws that you can access through the trigger guard, which is a nice feature. So you can adjust the trigger and get a very nice trigger pull here. I haven't touched it. This is just how it comes out of the box. So let's see how it does here. £2 pounds, 15.5 ounces. £2 pounds, 14.3 ounces. And 3 pounds, 1.3 ounces. For an average of 2 pounds, 15.7 ounces. So again, this is a really good setup for a hunting trigger. You can get it lighter if you want, but it's, as you can see, extremely consistent, which is really what you need. There's a lot of things to like about this gun. There's a few things I don't like. I say don't like, I just point out really that this gun is not designed for the bench. You don't really have a good place to mount a bipod, having to cock it, lift it up, and so forth is not really convenient at the bench. It's not built to be a bench gun. This is a gun that's for offhand shooting, for hunting, for fun, whatever you want to do with it. But it's not a bench target gun. So just keep that in mind. It comes with it's got a lot of features. You've got a lot of convenience here. It also comes with some nice little things here in the box. You've got a probe. Now, one thing I'll point out is you do not have, the male, the quick disconnect fitting on the back of here, so you'll have to buy that separate. I'll put a link in the description so you can pick that up. It does come with spare O-rings to rebuild the probe if you need that at some point. You get O-rings for the gun itself. You have this cap. What this does is you can unscrew your tank here, screw this into the back, and then turn this set screw at the end, and it will degas the cylinder for you. So a nice touch there. All in all, if you're looking for a gun that's fun to shoot, that's accurate, that's going to get you quick follow-up shots, whether you're plinking or hunting or pesting, then I think the AT44 PA is a great option, and I don't think you'll regret buying this. So if you've enjoyed this review, appreciate it if you like, subscribe, share it with your friends and so forth, and stay tuned for the next one. Thanks for watching.